A while back, I was walking through a Costco store when I saw a claw machine. But it wasn't just any old claw machine, it was a SpongeBob themed claw machine. And this was life-changing. And in that moment, I was struck with inspiration. I asked the question, could I take a claw machine and Lego and combine them? But I didn't want to make a claw machine like all the others I've seen online. I wanted mine to be unique. And the unique factor I chose was to have no motors. And the first thing I started with in a claw machine was, of course, the claw. And so I made this arm, and then I needed to duplicate it. What's that behind your ear? Does he even have ears? That's not important. I got one, and then I duplicated those. And the next thing I needed to build was some sort of housing to house these arms. And so I started with some Technic bricks, and then pens, and then more axles and pens and plates to connect it all together. And then this is actually a stopper for one of the arms. Then I finally connected the arms to this Technic axle, the brown one, and then added a stopper on that one. And then this one was a Technic pen. And then those are both free moving. And then I duplicated those housings, and then attached them together. And now I have the claw. Kind of. I just needed some ropes, some chains, and of course some webs. Let's get that out of the way. Anyway, I attached the ropes to the actual arms of the claw, and then attached them to all four, and then fed them through the center. And that's why there's a hole in this plate to feed that one rope through, which is connected to all of the ropes, which is then connected to the arms. And these rubber pieces are great because they provide a lot of friction, but almost too much friction because all of these arms are just sticking to each other. Anyway, I attached the chains to the other sections of the arms and then fed those around. And it actually works. It took a lot of iterations, but I'm very pleased with this claw. The next portion I needed to build was the actual housing to which these ropes eventually connect to, the ropes and the chains connect to. And the holes on this plate were actually originally to feed them through, but I scrapped that idea and I was too lazy to change it. So I ended up using these winch Lego pieces that already have ropes, and then here is my test. It works perfectly. And now I needed a mechanism to actually move the claw. And I decided to use these gears to have a hand crank, which would then move the gears in either one direction. But the problem was that the amount of gears that I had was about as empty as my wallet after going to the Lego store. So I placed a Lego order and waited. I didn't have to wait long. Package secured. With these new gears acquired, I was able to make the mechanism. But that was just one side of the mechanism. I needed the other, and so I built that one up. And then I added attachments. That is the tiled side, and then that is the geared side. The geared side obviously rests with the gears, and the tiled side rests with the flat surface, which aren't tiles, but are Technic rods. Anyway, and then those black bricks are stoppers, and then you obviously have the crank. This was then my progress on the other part, like the base of the claw machine, that would then slide that previous attachment. And this is kind of a test. I would take that, and that would slide down based on how I moved the crank. This was the fully finished and revised version of that. I added more bricks and plates to make it more sturdy, and then obviously attached the 2 sections and then the claw, and now it's just perfect. I then built up a base where the prizes will drop down and then where the prizes will rest. Now I just needed a build montage. I was then running out of bricks, so I decided to use base plates that I got out of thin air. After all that building, my studio became an absolute mess, so I decided to use the good old snap trick. There we go. It took a few tries, but it worked. I then added the final piece, and with that, the claw machine is complete. But one cannot build a Lego claw machine and not have prizes, so I decided to gather some up. I got these 2 sets with minor casualties. I was walking around and wondering until I tripped. And then I stumbled upon CMF figures. How did I not see those? Anyway, I gathered them up and added them to the claw machine. The next thing I needed was good old Bob. Grab his box from my closet and open him up. Then I found polybags. I can add those. The final prizes I needed were in here. And I found 2 keychains and 1 Muppet CMF figure. Can you guess who he is? Well, now it is officially complete. The entire claw machine with prizes. And to start, you take your money and you insert it here. And now you're good to go. You can start cranking. You can determine where you want to go. And more importantly, what you want to go for. I set my sights on this D&D collectible minifigure. And first attempt, I had 2 there, and it slipped right out of my hands. Well, I dropped it. That's not good. Let's try that again. I've got him. I have a really good grip on this one too. Right where the hole, I guess you could say. It's good for store displays, I guess. I don't know what it necessarily be called. The hole punch for holding. Anyway, that's really sidetracked. I got the D&D figure. I'm using the crank. I got him right over the chute. And now I just release him. And there we go. Let's open that hatch and open him up. Come on, open. Oh, it's the eagle. And one of my favorite parts about this claw machine is the anti-theft procedures I put in place. You cannot reach your hand in through the bottom. You can't reach your hand in at all. Totally. But let's say you want to play again. Oh, calm down. Well, you have to go to the dark, fiery dungeons of below the claw machine to retrieve your money. And, we made it out safely. Now you can play again. Anyway, here's a POV shot of me going for a keychain. This one was hanging up on the sides, and those are actually very difficult to get. Way more difficult than any of the collectible minifigures I have out. But I dropped him, and I missed him. But the perk of owning this is that I can have unlimited tries. So here we are, second attempt, and I've got Luke Skywalker. I'm reeling him in with the cranks, turn him more toward the chute, and one more, and again, because it's stuck on the poly bag, and one more, and then we release him. And then we release him. Release, there we go, finally. Oh, and he's stuck. No problem, we got Luke Skywalker. So there we have it. A claw machine that fully works and it's made out of Lego that has no motors. Even though I have trouble seeing, because I can't put that money in, I can still build this. A dream that started at a Costco store, all about a SpongeBob claw machine.